YouTube, I'm Leo, I'm your Southern California realtor, and in this video, I'm gonna talk to you guys about my first 30 days in the business. So stay tuned. So before we get started, go ahead and hit the subscribe button as well as turn on the little bell notification so you're always notified when I make a new video, as well as do me the favor and smash the like button. All right, so today I'm going to talk about my first 30 days in the business, as well as what I wish I could do differently and what I would recommend for anybody just starting out. All right, so just getting started with my first 30 days. So I initially got licensed on November 4th, but since I messed up a part on my legal name, I didn't put my suffix. They had to go and fix my paperwork, which took a couple days. And by the time I got my license and was able to sign on with a broker, signed on with EXP November 16th or 18th, somewhere around there. And I pretty much got to work on things that weren't really necessary. I didn't really want to hit the phones the first day. I was a little nervous. I was just talking myself out of it. And, I didn't start prospecting. And that's the one thing I want to tell everyone here is don't waste your time doing things that aren't going to create you business. And what I mean by that is prospecting. So what you do want to be doing is cold calling, door knocking, focusing on social media, like reaching out to everyone on your friends list, sending out postcards, just whatever you want to choose to be your prospecting method, you do that your first day. And what I did instead was I worked on my website. I created my Facebook business page. I was watching YouTube videos on how to cold call rather than doing it myself. And these are just things that are just time wasters, but I was like, okay, I'm just bettering myself so I don't have to do it later. But in reality, if I create a website for people to go to, but I have no one to go there, what's the point of me creating the website? So I realized this very quickly, and thankfully I didn't waste too much time on any of these mundane tasks. And I started cold calling, I want to say my third day officially licensed and with a brokerage. And I made probably 100 calls, I believe, on my first day. And I was super excited at the beginning. And then once I hit dial and started hearing the ringing, I completely froze. And from what I thought was confidence and just diminish and completely go away. And I was just stuttering, quivering, and you can hear it in my voice that it was just like, I didn't know what I was doing. But thankfully I kept doing cold calling and I felt like I was getting better on the phones. And I was, and I definitely am, because I feel a lot more confident now than I did my first week or to 4 weeks. Another thing that's going to take a lot of time, at least with EXP, is your onboarding process. For me, like I said, it took 2 weeks. So there was just time that I was just waiting there, not doing anything. And like I said, in that downtime was when I should have focused more on my website, which in reality I did. It just took me a lot longer to finish my website the way I wanted it. It took me probably close to a month because I didn't know anything about creating a website and I didn't have the money to pay someone to create my website. So I just spent the time there trying to create it by myself. And with onboarding, with whatever brokerage you decide to go to, are going to come trainings. And there are some that are mandatory, some that are recommended, and there's just a bunch of training. With the EXP alone, we get, I believe, 50 hours of training a week. So that you can, I believe it's from 7 a.m. to about 2 p.m. of training every single day. And if you don't want to prospect in the morning, that's when most of the classes that are mandatory for you to be in are fall in that time slot of when you should be prospecting. At least in my business model, I have my times blocked out from 8 to 12 to be prospecting. And that's when all the mandatory classes are for your brokerage, more than likely. But thankfully with EXP, I was able to do the mandatory classes at a different time because they were all recorded. And if I had any questions on one of the classes, I knew to set aside time and cut it out of my prospecting time to go to that class and ask the instructor to answer my question. Another thing that I wish I didn't do was let people waste my time, in the sense that I would go out of my way for people that would tell me that they wanted to buy, and I would go out of my way, try and get them with a lender and try and talk with them. And then once I got them connected with the lender, they didn't want to give me certain information and giving me the runaround. But me not knowing what the runaround was at the time, I thought it was a potential client. And so I was still working with them and trying to figure out how I can work around them and work with a lender. And in all, I pretty much wasted my time with that person. I guess was too persistent in a sense, because they did block my number. And, it's okay. So I would rather be overly persistent and overly trying to contact someone rather than just being hands off and them trying to come to me. And at the time, or them telling me a time they want me to call them back, and they say, oh, we already signed with another agent. That was the last thing I wanted, especially because I wasn't getting a paycheck from anywhere else and I needed to be on top of my stuff. Another thing that I wasn't expecting myself was how much money I was going to be spending. So I knew that I had to pay for the MLS and like Supra and stuff like that, the things that you need. And if you want to see all the costs associated with being a realtor, I did make a video and it will be linked in the cards as well as in the description. But like I said, there's a lot of unexpected costs. To get more haircuts on a regular basis, as well as the amount of gas I was putting in my car. And if you're working at the office, make sure you guys pack a lunch. If not, be sure that you guys budget in money for food, so that way when you guys are having lunch, you guys aren't having to starve. All right, another thing for me was my mental shift in no longer expecting instant gratification. So when not expecting for my first call to lead to something, into a lead or a potential sale, right? This is the long game. And it took me, I want to say like a good month and a half for me to fully break out of that, because I made close to 4,000 calls my first month, and I really didn't see much of it. I mean, yeah, I had people in my pipeline saying that they want to do stuff 6 months to a year out, but I wanted something now, and I was hungry for it, and I wanted to continue calling, which is why I continuously made 4,000 to 6,000 calls every month. But with doing that, it's just creating my business rather than wasting time on website, Facebook, things like that. And one thing I wouldn't recommend for everyone is to go on YouTube and watch people cold call or watch tips on how to cold call. I mean, you're just procrastinating the task of cold calling. I would say put down the videos and start calling now. Why would you start tomorrow when you can start today, right? That's just what I like to think, and that's just my personal preference. A good thing for everybody out there, if you're not with EXP, I don't know how other brokerages work, but with EXP, we were assigned a mentor. And if your company doesn't assign you a mentor, I highly, highly suggest that you go out yourself and find a mentor. That way you can see how a high producing agent is working on a day-to-day basis. Maybe you can pull from their daily schedule and take little notes. For my daily schedule, when I first got into real estate, was I would wake up anywhere from 5 to 5:30, just depending on how cold it was outside of the day. I would go for a quick jog, come back, read for about half an hour to 45 minutes. At 7 o'clock, I would put myself in I wouldn't say I would meditate, but I'd put myself into a state of mind where I was ready to call. At 7:30, I was practicing scripts. When I say practicing, I was literally talking to myself in a mirror. And at 8 o'clock, I would hop on the phones and start calling. And from 8 to about 12, I would make anywhere from 100 to 200 calls a day. And sometimes there was one week where I would do 500 calls every single day. Yeah, so that is pretty much all of my 30-day experience. I want to tell you guys, don't think that you guys are going to come on and start making business right away unless you guys already have friends and family saying that they want to buy or sell. So make sure you guys are prepared coming into this business, knowing what it's going to be like. Make sure that you guys aren't expecting instant gratification, because that is not this business. It's definitely the long game. So if you guys have any questions real estate related, go ahead and leave them in the comments, or go to any of my social medias, which would be Instagram and Facebook at ListingsByLeo, and you guys can direct message me on there. As well as if you guys need any help in Southern California, whether it be buying or selling, maybe you need help with a refinance or anything like that, anything real estate related, go ahead and contact me as well. I'll be more than happy to help you out. You guys have a great day, and I'll see you guys in the next video.